Welcome to MMA. My name is Luke Pace, and welcome back to everyone who is already a subscriber to the channel. If you're not already a subscriber to the MMA Fancast YouTube channel, please subscribe so you can see more great interviews, including the one coming at you right now. Always an honor to have a first-time guest on the show. This MMA fighter is under 2 weeks away from making his amateur MMA debut for 247 Fighting Championships at the event on January 30th. 247 MMA at the venue number 4, January 31st at the Sunny Days Arena. Welcome to the show. First time guest on the show, Xavier Rodela. Xavier, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you. That was an awesome introduction, man. That was dope. I'm happy to be here.
Listen, I appreciate it. I appreciate my introductions get longer and longer the more you're on the show. It'll be back for the second time, the third time. It becomes a much longer introduction. A special, just at the top, a special thank you, shout out to Anthony the Hound Dog Hogebeck, who set us up. He's an incredible guy. I've interviewed him on this show since he was an amateur. People need to go watch that interview because he's fighting on the same card. He's a big
Mhm.
Stout guy, and obviously you're now connected to Stout Pittsburgh, so he put me in touch with both you and TJ Sloan, if I can get TJ on here as well. So hats off, shout out to the Hound Dog. He's a professional MMA fighter. He'll be fighting on the same card. But I'm super excited. I don't know really anything about you, so I always
Mhm.
want to learn about you while the audience is learning about you. What athletics did you grow up doing, sports-wise, prior maybe to MMA?
So I started with jujitsu and I was 5 years old. I started with jujitsu and then I was doing karate, boxing, kickboxing. But more specifically it was jujitsu up until my freshman year of high school. Freshman year, I started transitioning more into wrestling.
Mm.
I wrestled freshman year through senior year. I got third place. My freshman year in Texas, fifth place. My sophomore year, and then junior and senior year, I won a state title back to back.
In
And then,
Texas?
yes, sir.
Wow, congratulations. Double state champ. I imagine Texas being as big as it is, that's a big deal to win a state championship in Texas. So congrats. Double
Yeah,
champ.
yeah, appreciate it. Our wrestling isn't PA level, but
Okay, gotcha.
we're growing for sure. We got some athletes down there. There's some studs coming out of Texas soon.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, and then so for those 4 years it was mainly wrestling, and then last year I went to West Liberty University in West Virginia and wrestled there, and then decided that wasn't the route I wanted to go. I dropped out, started pursuing my barbering career and my MMA career, and that's where I'm at right now. So it's been mainly wrestling, jiu-jitsu, and then starting to, clean up my striking now and just getting comfortable on the feet. But, anywhere the fight goes, I'm ready.
Well, you sound very prepared. I mean, starting jujitsu at 5. I remember years ago listening to UFC fights when Joe Rogan started saying that kids that grew up training kind of with the MMA mindset from young, and you would count somebody who grew up eventually wrestling, but doing a lot of different things to kind of grow towards MMA, that they would, that they would be the new face and the new style of MMA, which
Mhm.
is incredible. A cool little West Liberty factoid, because I'm full of them. I coach track for Waynesburg University, which is a little Division III school.
Uh-huh.
And one of my former conference champions, so our athletic conference of our schools, W and J and some of those schools, is now the head track and field coach at West Lib. You wouldn't know him, Coach
Yeah.
Coach Tracks. You wouldn't know him because you were a wrestler, right? You weren't there
Mhm.
for
Yeah.
connected, but it's really cool. Shout out to Coach Tracks. He just became the head coach there a few months ago. When you were there last year, he was the assistant jump coach under Coach Falvo. But anyhow, so West Liberty
Mhm.
is sort of I follow it now because at
Uh-huh.
least track wise, because a former champ of mine is there, and it's just really exciting that you were there for a year. But talk about what led you to kind of focus on MMA now, and what then led you physically to get connected to Stout Pittsburgh, because obviously you had lots of options. What brought you into Stout?
Yeah. So I'll start with how we got up here.
Sure.
My dad, he started me young in MMA at 5 years old, and then, we were in a small little suburb outside of Fort Worth, Texas, and we were there for about, I want to say, 8, 9 years, and then summer of 2024, he got a job offer up here at Stout, and everything just fell in line, and we moved up here that summer, and then that's the year I went to West Lib, and
Oh, yeah.
so I went to West Lib for that year, so I wasn't around at Stout too much. And then what led to me, pursuing MMA was I just didn't like school. That's just what it was. I didn't like school. I wasn't the type to sit down and study and do none of that. And then I just knew going into debt and doing all of that wasn't for me. So I knew taking the route of having income through barbering, still
Mhm.
making my own schedule, going to train in the morning. Okay, I'll go to the shop, come back to train for the night class. That's the route I wanted to go, being an entrepreneur, and then ultimately chasing my dreams of just getting to the UFC and not just getting there, but excelling in there. And then that's where this all lined up. And now I'm just training with some of the best guys in Pennsylvania in the country, and Lucas Siebert, Luke Martin, Hound Dog. There's so many guys I can name that, TJ. I'm just training with them day in and day out, and it's fun not only watching my progression but watching their progression. It's
Yeah,
dope.
it really is. And I have to get into a little bit more of Stout Pittsburgh because it's really cool and I'm glad you're training there. What background does your dad have? I believe Hound Dog said on the show that your dad had about 25 pro fights and that's why he was brought up. So briefly, because I actually hope to eventually do an interview with him from a
Yeah.
coaching perspective, which can be fun, and his history, but like what was his history and what aspect of coaching is he doing at Stout for for you guys to relocate from Fort Worth, outside of Fort Worth, all the way up here. I'm guessing it was a pretty good
Yeah.
opportunity for him to come up.
Yeah, he started in, I want to say, around 2006, and his main thing was jujitsu. He
Mhm.
was basically self-taught for his first, like, I want to say 4 to 5 years of MMA, and he eventually, started getting under a coach, and but he started out with jujitsu, started coaching as a blue belt, and
Mhm.
then just eventually just ranked up, and now he's a black belt in jujitsu. I think a second degree black belt, and he's just been training for, I think, close to 20 years now, and so he's been through all the ups and downs there is to do with the sport. So there's nothing that I am not gonna go through or see that
Mhm.
he's not seen before. So he's able to really guide me down that right path.
Yeah, that's wonderful. What a great family connection, and can't wait to meet you in person in under 2 weeks, and also
Hmm.
talk to him. And I think Hound Dog said that he expects your dad to be in his corner, because that's obviously an aspect of Stout. But here's another cool connection to Stout. Mike Wilkins, that one of the head coaches at Stout. I coached him in track back when he was an 18-year-old, floppy haired. He used to have this beautiful floppy haired kid. He was a wrestler for 1 year at Waynesburg and also on the track team for 1 year at
Hmm.
Waynesburg back when he was 18. So it's been a long time, but he's an incredible guy. I know his wife. They were dating, I think, since high school, but at least in college they were together as freshmen.
Wow.
They're just incredible people. And so I'm glad you found Stout, obviously through your dad, but it's just incredible. And I like all those connections. But you had started mentioning training partners, and I think due to your size, you probably also get a decent amount of training in with Britt. I believe Britt goes
Hmm.
with you guys.
Yep.
So, what's the transition been like? You mentioned uh, Lucas and Luke, although they're both Lucases, but one goes by Luke Martin, one goes by Lucas, which makes it slightly easier. And you
Yeah.
mentioned How Dog, you mentioned TJ, Britt. I brought up Britt,
Hmm.
and I watched Britt fight Muay Thai and kickboxing back when she was still living in Allentown. Back then, I was running a Christian MMA gym just outside of Philly, and so it was really cool. I remember years ago she announced on Facebook that she was coming out to Western Pennsylvania to train or move and do that stuff. And then she connected to Stout. And of course, I knew Mike Wilkins. So I was all excited. And then several years later, I came back out. So it feels like, all those connections. But for you, what is the expectation for your debut? You've obviously competed, even though it might not be at the level of Pennsylvania state wrestling. Still, you've won 2 state championships. What BJJ belt level are you?
I'm a purple belt.
Purple belt. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and you had mentioned that your dad started coaching at blue belt. So purple belt, you're 2 away from black, and so
Mhm.
obviously you've come a long way. So, um, you haven't been in a full MMA fight, even though you probably did aspects of it with
Yeah.
jiu-jitsu and wrestling. What do you expect to be the same, and what do you expect to be different, whether it comes from your dad's perspective or you're training with a lot of fighters who just a few years ago were amateurs? I was on the play-by-play team that called Lucas back then the Sniper Siebert, now Steel
Yep.
City Lucas, which is an incredible nickname. But I called his first amateur fight, 3 years ago. He's come such a long way. Incredible career so far. But
Mhm.
what is your thought about like going from all the things that led you up to this, the jiu-jitsu, the wrestling, the striking, all that, to an actual MMA fight?
Mhm. Well, me and my dad and my mom, she's also a black belt, so
Oh my
we're
goodness.
always, yeah,
Oh my goodness.
runs in the family.
One of the
So
most talented families. Wow.
yeah,
Okay. This is great.
yeah, so we always say like this isn't this has been a 14 almost 15 year long camp. Like this isn't something that I just started training 6 months for, 3 months for. Like this has been a long time coming, and now that I'm finally able to do it with the guys I'm training with and with the guys I have trained with, this dude, he's just a stepping stone in the career for me, and it's all respect at the end of the day, but he's not gonna have nothing for me. I could take him down, submit him in the first round. I'll I got a lot of ways to finish this fight, and then the way I see it going, I just see a lot of stuff that he's never seen before, that he's never been in the room with. I see I'm training with pro level guys. Lucas,
Yeah.
he could be in the contender series right now in the UFC right now.
He could be. He
Luke
might be.
Martin,
I think
yeah,
that's actually a possibility. Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like he's right there. Luke Martin, he's just getting started with his pro career. He's right there going to fight for Fury the day before. So
Oh, there you go.
yeah, he's fighting in Dallas, and then obviously Hound Dog. I'm training with all these pro level guys who are making their way up. If not, they're right there. And so there's nothing that there's nothing that this guy is gonna have for me. And he actually fought my teammate on the last card I think they had, and he submitted my teammate submitted him, and that's one of those guys that I train with a lot too. And it's just there's a lot of things that I do that are unorthodox that I'm too quick. I'm young. I got speed, I got agility, I got looks, I got, everything I need just to get through with the fight and finish it however I want to do. And I just see it being a quick night. Whether you know, obviously there's no head strike, so
Yeah.
that's a downfall, but um even without that, like I could take them down, drop them, whatever I want to do. I see it being a quick night. So getting in, getting out. So hey, I can go watch my boys. Kyle O'Hare,
Yep.
he's on the card.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
Hound Dog, TJ's on the card.
TJ.
Max, Max
Max.
is on
That's
the
right. I
card.
interviewed Max. I think there's
He's
5. That would make 5. I think there's 5 Stout.
and then
Yeah.
Logan Pryor.
Oh my goodness. I wonder if
Six
he
of
was
our guys.
6 of you guys. Yeah. I mean, if people are looking to get tickets, you should buy tickets either directly from Xavier or anybody at Stout Pittsburgh online at 247fighting.com. Just select Xavier Rodela, or at least pick the last name Rodela, because the first name will be a little bit different on that one. But Xavier Rodela, pick it. And if people from Texas, hi, people from Fort Worth, if anybody isn't going to be able to make the trip in because they're from Texas, download right now, download the 247 Live app. 247 Fighting Championships is really cool because as a regional promotion, they actually have their own app. It's great. Download it on any smart device. And reason why I'm going through this is because one, because you're going to be fighting for 247, but also there's a lot of scammers that put links up on Facebook and 247 tries to take them down. But a lot of times they look legit enough that if people don't know, they end up buying like, and they don't work. The tickets aren't real. The streaming isn't real. So the only place to get streaming would be from 247fighting.com, or the easier way is 247 MMA or 247 Live, which is the app, or directly from the website or from a fighter like you or somebody. But every once in a while, Ryan or Hunter from the promotion will put out a PSA about a couple days before the event saying, hey guys, be careful of scammers. But it's just something you're new and some of your friends might be new to it. So please, please don't get scammed. There's nothing 247 can do about you getting scammed because it wasn't them. So just make sure you're getting it from the right stuff. It helps out Xavier, but it also kind of, gives everybody a warning. So I can't wait for it. It's going to be an incredible night. There's several pro fights. You mentioned Hound Dog. There's a couple others. Plus, you mentioned Kyle Hare. He's fighting for an amateur bout. It's a great night. Plus, several debuts, you included. Top to bottom, incredible card. I've really enjoyed having you on. Can't wait to eventually figure out interviewing your mom and dad, given their level of experience and competitiveness as black belts in jiu-jitsu. It's been incredible having you on. We're under 2 weeks away. Everybody get tickets or stream the pay-per-view. This is Luke Basin with Xavier Rodela, who's just a week and a half away from his debut for 247 Fighting at the 247 MMA Live at the Arena 4 event at Sunny Days Arena. Going to be incredible. Thanks so much. And I will see you there. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.